How's everybody doing? I I hope everybody had a good holiday, a good Christmas if you're celebrate Christmas. And today I'm going to talk about La Formula. My last video, I had a information about things that I found out about La Formula, and I want to get into uh, basically showing you the Blockhouse blog, which Doug Kroll wrote an article about this, about the deciphering of La Formula. I also want to get into the historical aspect of substitution cipher and pigpen cipher, and give you a little insight on to when this was being used, and because this is important, uh, the genuineness of La Formula does not hinge upon the document. It hinges upon the information that we see from the document given. Now, this document obviously is not genuine. The paper is not from the time period, and perhaps even the copying of it isn't of the time period either. I think that the person who did copy this, okay, was trying to copy it as best they could, even with the formation of the letters and everything like that, in order to give it authenticity. But I'm not thinking they're giving it authenticity as a hoax. I think they're giving it authenticity so you understand the way it looked. They wanted to copy it pretty much exactly the way they saw it. So, the information about that was given to Zena Halperin, and that's another thing, it was given to Zena Halperin. I don't have the article, and I'm going to try to find it, but I read the article at one time that Zena Halperin, okay, was given this information by a friend who I think was a co-researcher with her, and it was in a book. He had found it in a book, and that was La Formula, the maps, and all the information that she presents to Rick Lagina on the show. So anyway, I'll move along here. So right here is called the Babington Cipher. This was written in 1586, okay? It was actually a coded message in a cipher that was retrieved by somebody of Queen Elizabeth's court, that was instructions of an assassination attempt on Queen Elizabeth from Mary of Scots. So if you look at this Babington cipher, you will realize that a lot of the symbols, this is a substitution cipher where they take symbols from a table, which is down here, this guy decoded it, and you replace them with letters. As you can see here, here's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And what I'm going to look at some of these here. Here's A. Look at what it is. It's just a dot or a circle, a small little circle. Okay? That's exactly the same as La Formula. Here's another symbol that's the same as La Formula. Sort of a circle with a line going straight through it. Here's a square or a rectangle. Here is one that has two lines going horizontal with one vertical going across it. Here's one down here. Maybe that one's going on the top. Here's one down here. Here's an X. There's an X right here. Okay. What other symbols are similar? There was a couple of them that I saw. Oh, the triangles. Look up here. Here's the triangle. And here, you know what? I'm going to do this because I had this. I'm sorry. Here. See if you can see how many symbols. I mean, here we have the upside down triangle. We have the right side up triangle. We have a lot more different ones. We have sort of similar here with the X, but it's got a dot underneath it. Now, one thing about ciphers is they don't get less sophisticated. Ciphers become more and more complicated as time goes on. So this obviously is a lot more complicated than the Formule cipher. Look, here's the symbol right here with the up and down line with 2 going across it. There's another symbol that's similar. It's fun just looking through this thing. If you guys want to see if there's any. But I guess what I'm trying to point out is that this is 1586, and obviously this is a cipher that was done in Europe, actually in the area that we're talking about, and it's pretty sophisticated. Oh, look, up in the corner here is the circle with the line going through it, which is an R in La Formula. So that's a pretty obvious one. That's a real so anyway, this is called the Babington cipher. So let me see. Let me go to my article here. So just to give you guys a little history about this is there's what's called substitution cipher, and that's what this is. This is substitution cipher. You take a symbol and you substitute it for a letter. And these 2 Arab guys who lived in the 1300s and the early 1300s and late 1300s, and you can read this as I'm looking at it, is they were developing ciphers in Arabia or the Middle East during this time. Okay, they were developing them, but it seems like they are also collecting them, like they were already done, because this guy made an encyclopedia of them. So these ciphers were used most likely during this time period. And also, when you look here, here's one. There's all kinds of different kinds of ciphers. This substitution cipher was used in the 1400s. That's the earliest example of. Well, this is homophonic substitution cipher. And I think that's a little more sophisticated than just a straight substitution. I think it's using whole words instead of just letters. So substitution cipher is definitely something that was used during the time period of 1347. And another thing is, too, is who would be able to get access to some of these ciphers, because I think they were written for mostly military and political reasons during this time. Who would have access to maybe intelligence of the people of the Middle East? Crusaders, okay? They would be the ones that would raid and get access to these kinds of things. So it sort of fits in. Here's the text talking about Mary, Queen of Scots, and this cipher actually led to her execution. So I don't want to go too long here, but this is written in 2017. This is by Doug Kroll, and he gives you a whole article about how it was developed and who came up with it. This is Kempton, who actually decoded the 90-foot stone, and it talks about how he had come up with a few of the letters. He didn't break the whole code, but this is what he says it comes from, is from a Masonic pigpen cipher. And in early attempts, this guy here started to come up with more letters. He's the one that discovered the Q, and it actually, when it was developed with this guy Kempton, he didn't have the whole table. He didn't know all of the letters, and some guys got involved with it later, which this guy did. Mr. Judge predicted this letter would be the Q, and then there was things about the different symbols and everything like that. Then it was somebody attempted to do it in this, thinking that the language was some kind of, I believe, African language. You can read that on your own time. But they finally came down to these guys. They sent it in to the Department of the University of Southern California, and let's see, I think that's who it was. Yep. And this is what they sent back. Halta and Terrier, this is what we have, okay? And these are the missing letters. Remember, this is where I said right here it's missing an I. It could be missing 2 letters. I don't think Le Corridor, they mention that in here. Later on down here, here's the Insente, the Sosente, and they talk about that. But, they talk about the word Deus, how that would be Old to Middle French, and this word here would be Old to Middle French. And I believe this is Middle French. I think it's time period specific to the mid-1300s, just like that map. Everything really does show. See, here's where they say the perfect solution would be corridor. Okay? But to go down, let's see, they talk about the 40 in the 90-foot stone. I wanted to talk about the corridor because I had a comment about that. I mean, it does make sense, and it's very convenient to put in corridor here instead of the Syriad gold. However, I'm still looking. There is no French, new or old French word, no Latin word, no Italian word, no any word that, except for English, that you could put in here. And it doesn't make sense to me that they would use all Middle French words and then in just this one word use some other language. So they say it right here on the 5th line of the cipher. We have REIDOR. The obvious possibility completing this fragment of the cipher is corridor. We have yet to locate examples of old usage of this word in French, but if corridor is correct interpretation of this fragment of the text, then it would within reason to allow for grammatical error on part of the author and of the cipher. Well, another thing too I want to say about this cipher is, as far as grammatically correct in sentence, syntax, and everything like that, I don't think the author was using that as a priority. I don't think sentence structure and syntax was on his mind when he made this cipher. I think it was directions. Like, if you did a map quest and got directions to someplace, is MapQuest sentence structure, does it give good sentence structure? Go right, turn left? No, it doesn't. This is a directions to something. And I don't think it was meant to be have sentence structure or any kind of grammatical context. It was just information that was put into a cipher. Anyway, you can read the rest of this, and it gets into the 90-foot stone and everything like that. And here's references to this 90-foot stone. There was actually a couple other, some people say that there was a couple of other symbols in there, which I believe may have been. Then they talk about the HO stone and everything like that. So that's pretty much it. I'm still working on the history. I'm going to be coming up with something a little later on, probably this week. It's pretty intense, the history of Oak Island, or the history of Europe during the time, and I'm tracing back the history of Louis the First and finding connections. I'm finding a lot of connections and reasons why he would have left when he left in 1347 and bury what he buried on Oak Island. And of course, I'm going with the clues on the formula, and it would be pretty much treasure or Syrian gold or artifacts from the Crusades that he was taking over there for some reason. Let's see if I have anything else. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, yeah, if you guys want to see my, this is my research page that I put together for my purposes. This is my looking into Old and Middle French using that Norman dictionary, and I did come across the word halta, which means extreme or great, and this can be interpreted in that it is, they say it says stop, but it could mean like a warning, like extreme. There's something extreme or something great. And if you guys want to know, I'll open this up to you because I want to be transparent in my research. But these are the words that I got out of the Norman dictionary. Terrier means to bank, and it's a verb. And that's the other thing is there's like two verbs in that sentence. So there's another one that says right here, it's a military term but it's not quite spelled exactly the same. It's got an I in it, and it means an embankment. And this terrier is a transitive verb, meaning it's being done to something, to bank with the earth. But I think he used a transitive verb. Perhaps there was liberty in using this word as an object or a subject, because it has to be used as an object or a subject as the earth. And then you have pass, which is not at all. And here's the reference, because it goes halt. It goes halta, and then ne, and then you have something in between. This is a grammatical thing. You have something in between it, and then pas. And that means you say not, and then whatever you're going to say, and which in this case, to dig at all. So it's not to dig at all. And these are modern French words that were used in the formula. Creuser, it means to dig, and 20, which is 20, which is a modern French. Therefore, it lends itself to be Middle French, the combination of modern and old. So, and then we have the word avec. Now, I didn't have the reference, but it is in the old Norman dictionary. But it puts by means of, and it means ab hoc. In other words, it means like to improvise, by means of, by improvisation. And the other thing is this one right here is the chamber. And the best, really, and this is amazing, the best word to use there would be not room, not vault, but treasury. And this is my translation, and this is a translation that I've been working on, and this is what I interpret it to say: extreme, not to dig at all, embankment, a distance of 40 feet. And then I think that's where you stop. By means of an angle, 45 degrees, the shaft at a distance of 522 feet from you, between the Syrian gold, at a distance of 1,065 feet to reach the treasury. Now, when I put in these a distance of or from, those are just the word a. And there are so many uses for the word a that it's really mind-boggling. And perhaps I'll do that later. Anyway, this has gone long enough. I will be doing another video later this week. It's a lot of information, so I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you later. Oh, let's see.